A very good afternoon, everybody. Well, as long as you're not talking about the weather, that is. A very good afternoon from us here, Patricia and David, Gulf Harbour Radio, ZMH 286. It is a shocking afternoon here. Freezing cold weather is coming up the country. It is totally miserable. You should see the pictures of the South Island. And we're not just talking the deep south. We're talking South Canterbury. It's heading up North Canterbury now. Just covered in snow right down to sea level. Unbelievable weather. It's really, really bad. Here we've got 14 degrees. Can you imagine that? And I tell you what, it feels a lot worse because there's driving rain, 15 to 20 knots of west-southwest wind. Barometers plunging, 1010. All we can think of is you folk up there in the islands, but according to David, it's not all that wonderful up there, but it's certainly not 14 degrees. It is truly, truly miserable. 30 centimetres in 24 hours down there in Canterbury, and Fairlie and Methven have got just heavy snow and rain, and the wind it just looks dreadful. It's going to hit Wellington. Of course, they're not going to be very comfortable either. Anyway, the only bit of news I've got for you is that the official cash rate rose today again, twice this year now, 50 basis points, so 3.5% it is now for you Kiwis. For those of you with American or Australian dollars, the official cash rate rise improved our currency a little bit. 58 cents now we get for our New Zealand dollar, and 88.9 Australian dollars, 58 US. So for you Americans coming, it'll probably swing back again to where it was, 56, 57. You're almost getting double your money when you come here, which you need to, because the inflation rate here is pretty grim at the moment. All right, there's not much happening. We've got Otama who has arrived, and that's good. Nice arrival there. The only other boat we've got of interest is up in the Torres. I think I'll pass the microphone to David to give a bit of an overview before we see if there's anybody out there listening to us.
Okay, well, again, good afternoon. And boy, it is cold. The snow, the global warming is absolutely astounding. Anyway, the reason for all this is we're getting a blast from the Antarctic of a big, big high. Well, there's a low down there, but a big, big high in the Tasman. The east side of it has got southwest winds, and that's just bringing that cold air. Not too often do you see a cold front that cuts right through the center of a high pressure area, but sure enough it is. The pressure differential is enough, and the temperature differential is enough to create a typical cold front sign on the synoptic charts. But moving up to you folks, it's not so hot up there either in terms of weather. We have a very active trough that's running from Tuvalu, goes right through Wallis and Futuna, comes down to Tonga, and then it continues southeast. But the one that is getting you, and not very pleasant, starts from well south of Raoul Island and heads north-northwest, covering Fiji. It covers Vanuatu, it covers the Torres, goes all the way up to the Solomon Islands. And that's probably going to continue for a couple of days. So those of you that are in Vanuatu, especially up there in the Torres, can expect showers probably right through Friday. And then late Friday, you're probably going to get a wind shift out of the northeast or thereabouts. So anyway, fills up the water tanks, I suppose. So that's just sort of a little short view of what's going on, and I'll pass it back to the chief.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of people are homing in on maybe places where they might be leaving their boats to go somewhere, or thinking of moving on. So anyway, if anybody wants anything or wants just to say hello, this is Gulf Harbour Radio standing by. Yeah, good afternoon, Paul. I see Somerset moved a little bit today. It looks a bit as if it was a bit damp. How is your weather, over?
Yeah, the weather's fine now. We actually don't have any cloud cover. We had a few showers in the day, but they passed off in a couple of minutes, and we had one shower in the night, but they also passed off in a couple of minutes. Yeah, we've moved one day up and just seeing what the weather does. And today it was a very nice day. We just had a fish lasagna.
Not quite sure what you just had at the end there. I missed that. But anyway, I'll see what David's got to say. I think he said before that you were going to be getting some weather later in the week, so it might not be too good for doing much. Here he is.
Well, you're going to get the effects of the trough that's running through most of Vanuatu, and it's extending up to the Torres. So even the Vanuatu Met Service is calling for showers up there where you are. Apparently you don't have them now, but I'll bet that you'll have them by nightfall. And then it looks like it's going to continue right into Friday up where you are. So, the wind will shift as well probably on Friday. And like I mentioned earlier, probably come out of the northeast. Not real strong, but it'll be feeding that trough, and that's why you'll have continuation of showers. So there you go. Over.
Yeah, thanks for that. Then we might stay on the same for a couple of more days. And I said that we had a fish lasagna over.
It's the second word I'm missing. It's a fish something rather. It's well, it must be a native word. You guys have all gone native by now, I would imagine. So you might want to explain what this fish lasagna it sounded like. I just have no idea what that is. You can educate us all, Paul. And yes, you should be all right in that acreage with the northeast. So it looks an interesting place to be. Over.
Yeah, roger that. But if we do get a nice wind to get us to the banks, then we'll have to do it now because we don't want to get stuck in the car.
No, that is true. Yeah, it's well, we're looking at the poor boat that left Cosrai. They're just sort of a bit south of Margaret at the moment, battling their way against the trades. It's it is going to be a battle for both you and Icy Red. So take every opportunity that comes. Over.
Definitely. We don't really mind not seeing the banks as long as we get down there in time.
Oh, you'll get to see your fair.
Oh yes, you have to see Uraparapara. It is just such a kick being in the crater basically there, and lovely people at Uraparapara. It's a pretty good spot to stop anyway on your way south. So see if you can do that one. But what was this fish something rather? Over.
Roger that. We plan to go to the banks and maybe see the reef islands and then go to Parapara and then slowly head down over.
Ah, okay. Alrighty then. So, alright, well, we'll see what you do with this weather. It's nothing too bad by the sound of it. Just won't give you the beautiful blue skies that you've obviously got used to, but it might cool things down a bit.
Should be about 15 knots.
15 knots, he reckons.
In
the banks, as far as we go here tomorrow. So we don't know what it will be up with you, but you are at the top end of things. Okay, good to say hello to you on Somerset. Is there anybody else wanting to say hello?
Hi, Candy.
Yeah, hello, Andrew, and a good signal from you. Go ahead.
I was just wondering whether you had heard from Otama. I just got back to the boat, over.
No, I haven't heard from Otama. I suspect there is a lot of boats in there around on the AIS. Just stand by. I'll give them a call. They are in. Otama, Gulf Harbour Radio. No, I don't imagine I will be able to copy them. There is quite a lot of activity around there actually, as there is usually all down that coast, but particularly around Gladstone. So yeah, I didn't expect them to be on. Out of the baggers there, I just remember that boat for some reason or another. So yeah, funnily enough, there's quite a bit of activity coming south to New Zealand as well. I just hope that you guys that are coming south are going to bring some decent weather with you. A couple of boats have headed off from Fiji in the last couple of days. So Makata and Margarita, New Zealand boats. There's a couple actually leaving north to go north. So it's a bit of activity. People still reorganising themselves after the big long breakdowns. I take it you're still where you are in the Carenage, or have you moved, Andrew? Over.
We moved out to the bay to Som, and we took off into the village and looked at all the ruins and the houses of the people who live there now. Quite a pleasant walk through the bush, and then we're back here, and we were going to have a look at the island in the middle of the bay here. I'm not sure what it's called, but Liam and Annie ended up hooking and mooring. We just spent the last hour and more trying to get them untangled.
Yeah, oh well, it's moving around a bit there.
You're going to have some wind on by Saturday.
David is just looking there. He says you're going to have some wind. I'll just pass the microphone. Hang on.
It's the Saturday time frame. That high that's in the Tasman is going to be pretty much over New Zealand by Saturday, and you're going to be on the fringe of it. So quite a bit of wind, a good 20-25 knots. And it can get pretty nasty in the lagoon there, as you probably know. So, yeah, we'll have fun before then. Over.
We're going to find somewhere to hide. Probably tomorrow, but if you say Tana was actually in port in Gladstone, over?
Roger, over.
Okay, so we wouldn't expect them to call with all those masts and steel around them. Okay, well, yeah, I think that's enough from us. We're going to stay here in the bay of Mavericks, and Annie and Liam has decided they're going to go up to the Carenage for the rest of it.
All right, well, keep track of them anyway. Yeah, well, you wouldn't be wanting to be around this area, that's for sure. My God, it's the coldest we've had it since winter started, and it's meant to be spring. Oh well, global warming is sort of escaping us. Okay, well, have a good time, and we will talk to you again tomorrow. By the way, this is just a long-range heads up. Next Wednesday, I will be off for a week, heading to Wellington, so we will not be on air for a week from, well, almost a week from Wednesday next week. I'll give you the details closer to the time, but anybody who wants David to have a look at any passage plans, ghradio@extra.co.nz. Okay, is there anybody else? Nothing heard. Andrew, by the way, I presume the cruises net is still on. What time is it on? Did it change times with daylight saving, or is it still on in about half an hour? Over.
It's on 0600 UTC, over.
Okay, so the cruiser net still on at 0600 UTC. Okay, all right, and it's on this frequency, so don't have to change anything. All right, folks, we'll leave you to your warmth and sitting on deck looking at blue skies and enjoying yourself, and we'll go back to sitting in front of the fire trying to keep warm. Cheers, everybody. We'll be back again tomorrow.